Welcome back again, ladies and gentlemen, to Software Engineering Innovation. I'm super excited that I'm making this video right now. Also, I'm appreciating God for your life. You guys out there that's also watching this video. Alright, in this video, I just want to be talking about I finally understand how event listener work in backend, because I think for the last week, this week that just ended, I'll be focusing on learning backend. There are some basic features that I'll be learning, like rate limiting, event listener, file upload system, how to hash a file. So I just want to talking about event listener for today. And the event listener are just a basic way of tracking. Let me say the way I understand event listener is for tracking. For example, now if you upload a file, event listener will triggered. That is, will show you who upload the file. Although it's for backend, right? Although the advanced one is WebSocket, whereby you'll be seeing the activity in the front end, but event listener for backend, right? For example, if a user upload a file, event listener is going to trigger who uploaded the file, the time, the IP address. That is just for event listener. You can also the ID of the person. Event listener is going to bring that all, right? So that is what I've learned. And there are still core things you need to know about event listener. You need to know about event listener emit, event listener emit, event listener on, and also the logger, where you are going to be actually saving the event listener. For example, now I do save mine in a folder, right? So another thing that I've also learned concerning event listener, for example, now if you are like the project I'm currently working on, although the last project that I built, it failed, I left it behind, and also some of the failures that I recorded there, I move it over to, that is, I learned from the errors from the last project that actually failed. Now in this project I'm actually building right now, I'm going to learn from those past failures, and I will learn from them, so that this project that I'm currently building is going to work, right? And I practice event listener here. Like, let me give an example. If for example now, if a user want to log in, they send the wrong register. For example, I send the wrong name, send the wrong email, or send the wrong password, and my event listener is going to trigger. That is, who try to log in, I'm going to get the email of the no, I'm going to get the IP address and the time, right? And also, if a user enter the wrong password, I also put an event listener there that will show me who did it, the IP address of the person, and the time. That is the power of event listener. And for emit, like I said, there are two things concerning event listener. There's something called event listener emit. There's a method, and the event listener on. When you are emitting, just like you are sending the request, the on is the actually one that we're going to to log the request. For example, now if I put event listener in a situation where if the user log in into the system and the login is successful, they attach an event listener there, and so the user actually enter the correct details, right? Enter the correct email and the password. Once the event listener trigger, that is, I'm going to use event listener emit there. I'm not going to be using event listener on. Event listener emit. That emit is the one that will send that message, whether success or failure, will be the one that will send it to event emitter on. Event emitter on will now be the one that's going to log it. That is just basic thing about that concerning event listener. And also the last thing that I'm talking about is that there are many features that we can pass into event listener for audit trailing, right? Because currently, like I said, I'm programming, and my start of programming that I'm currently focusing my 90% effort on is for security. It's not just for game on out there, just for security purposes, because we have a vision to build national surveillance system. So I'm actually just focusing my energy on the security side of programming, right? That is why I said, that's why I'm making this video, to just document that, okay, now event listener that actually makes sense. Although I'm not the logger part of it, where I have to stream the file and save it to the folder. That part is a bit difficult for me right now. I'm still trying to catch it up. That is still difficult for me, but by God's grace, I'm going to learn it. Alright, thank you very much for this video. And also, once I'm done with this project, although that fake project, I'll leave it behind, but in this one, I'm going to make sure that everything that did not work there is going to work in this mini surveillance system. And when I'm done with the whole system, I'm going to show it here on my channel. So thank you very much once again. If you're to part of this journey, please subscribe to this channel.